So, Gabby, tell us about your passion for running.
Well, my passion for running started at a very early age. I started running when I was in high school, and I just loved the freedom that I had, the freedom, the high that I would get after a run, just the control that I had of my distance and how far I could go. And it wasn't a competition where you're running with somebody else. I was my own competition, so I would, you know, compete against myself, and every day was a different day. And I really, really enjoy the liberty that running gives me, and also the non-confrontational and the non-feeling that you get when you're in a team sport where you feel like you're going to fail or you're going to let down your team. With running, it's a one-man sport, and there's no one to let down but yourself. And I really love that feeling where you compete against yourself.
So, you have this passion for running. What inspired you to take it a little further and have a running streak that went for more than a year?
Well, last year, the year before last, I had changed my diet and I was eating a more plant-based. I eat a plant-based diet, and so I had a different appreciation for my body because the foods that I were eating were lighter and almost kind of made me more in tune with my body, was more transparent. And so to show an appreciation for my body, I wanted to give myself a gift of running every day for 365 days. And that's basically how it started.
So, in preparation for your streak, I'm sure you had a pretty unique diet. So, how did you prepare for this? What kind of diet did you have?
Well, my diet was pretty much the diet that I had started a year a year prior to the running streak, and that was a plant-based diet. Fruits, starches, beans, and healthy fats like avocado and nuts. And one of the reasons why I also wanted to do this running streak was because after changing my diet, I experienced a healing in my knees, which I had excruciating pain when I would run. And one of the reasons why I stopped running was because this pain was so intense. And my doctors had told me that running was not going to be an option for me, and that I needed to find a different sport. And when I changed my diet and I started eating a more plant-based diet, I noticed that I had this extreme level of energy, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try running. Even though I was told not to run by my doctors, I totally ignored that, and I started running. And I noticed that, that I could run further than I had ever run with my knee pain. And so that encouraged me to continue eating a high plant-based diet, and it gave me the energy to be able to run every day. And not only that, but I started my streak with 1 mile. I said that I never thought that I would be where I am right now in my running. I thought, if I would run 1 mile a day every day for 365 days, that's what I committed to. But I never realized that that 1 mile was going to turn to 2 miles, 3 miles, and right now I'm at 6 miles. So I totally, I know that it's because of my diet, because there's no way that I would be able to run with so much. I guess I don't want to say that meat and dairy was a cause of my knee pain, but is it coincidence that I changed my diet and all of a sudden I'm able to run like if I was in high school, like when I was in high school? I don't know. But I really believe that my diet plays a huge role and played a huge role in my running streak.
So, with this accomplishment, how has your running streak impacted other parts of your life? How has it changed?
Well, I could say that the running the hardest part of this running streak wasn't the running, the physical act of running. I think the hardest part of the streak was my willpower and my mind, my mental state to be able to push myself every morning or every day to do it. Once I was out there, it was no problem whether I was running 1 mile or 4 miles or 6 miles. It was the will and my mind. And so since every single day I willed myself to go out there because I had committed on my YouTube page, on my Facebook page, that I was going to run. So I didn't want to come out flaky with all my followers that I have. So I committed myself to run every single day through vacations, through rain, through wind, through, through every obstacle that life could throw you. I ran, I did it. So that kind of flowed into other parts of my life, that well, there's something that I didn't want to do, that I just wanted to procrastinate about it. I just used that same mentality of me going up and running every single day. I used it in those areas of my life, in being, in schooling my kids, and being a wife, in a home, in my friends, and my relationships, even in trying new things where I was kind of like always like shy about it because I didn't feel like I was good enough, or because I didn't have a higher education. I threw myself to new things, and those new things have, been a blessing in my life. And, anything is possible. It's your mind that gets in the way, not the task. Like the running was not what was getting in my way. It was my attitude about running. And that flows into other areas of my life.
So, what would you say to someone who's considering a challenge like the one that you just accomplished of a running streak? What would you say to that person that wants to challenge themselves?
Oh my gosh. It's a difficult question because I I'm a type A personality, and I'm very goal oriented. And if I set myself to do something and I don't do it, it's like an itch and I have to scratch it. But I think it has to do with the personality and the character of the person and how much they want it. How much do they want? Just say, maybe it's not a running streak. Maybe it's going going to school. Maybe it's finding another job. It's how bad do you really want it? If you really want it bad, you're going to find ways to make it happen. If you want to do a running streak, if you want to do a marathon, you're going to find ways to do it. You're going to find the time. You're going to prioritize it above everything else. I prioritize my run above everything else. I would wake up, if I knew that we were going to go as a family to take a trip, I would wake up early in the morning to go run. If we were on vacation, I would try to find out if there was a treadmill, if they had a gym. If not, then I would try to figure out how I was going to do my run around the hotel or wherever we were at. It's just a matter of how much you want it and how important it is to you. It was important to me to run because I know that I earlier that year I had a setback and I got really sick. And so when you have something taken away from you and it's given back to you, you have a deeper appreciation of that gift that was taken away from you. And you will put everything above, you will put whatever you set your mind to above everything else because you knew that it was taken from you and how much it cost. So I would tell that person that wants to start a running streak or a new exercise, whatever it might be for them, to put aside all negative thought, put aside their thoughts and just do the task. Look at it as non-emotional attachment, nothing. It's just something that needs to be done for your survival. Sometimes that's how I looked at it. I looked at that. It's just something that I need to get done. It needs to be done. If I didn't have legs, I know that I would be praying that I had legs. And sometimes I would, think that way. Oh my gosh, if I didn't have legs, I would be so grateful to be able to do this run when it was hard days, or when I had to do that hill. There's a hill to our home and there's no escaping it. You just have to get it done to get home. I would say, okay, if I didn't have legs, I would be, asking God for this hill. And that's how you have to do it. It just takes a really strong mind. And that was taken away from me for almost 3 months. So I knew that just as strong as my mind was when I got sick, it's just as strong when it's healthy. And so, I don't know if I answered the question, but it's all about how bad you want it and what you're willing to put aside and sacrifice for it.
So what's next for Gabby in this new year, in this 2017?
What's new for me? Well, as far as any goals, physical goals that I have, like any type of sport or, healthy physical activity, I already adopted running. It's already part of my life. I mean, I did it for a year. And there's some times where I'm like, like today I just I want to just stay in bed. But then there's something in me that's like, it needs it. It's almost kind of like my body needs it. So running is already a part of my life. I don't think that I could say, I did the running streak, and I checked it off. I'm not going to know. I think it's already integrated in my life. So I think this year is a year of strengthening my body. I have very good cardiovascular endurance, but I would like to be strong. I would like to have faster runs, not necessarily longer runs, but faster runs. So in order for me to be faster, I need to have, stronger muscles. So this year is going to be about building the house and lifting, not necessarily heavy, but just giving a little bit of resistance to my body. Versus last year, I didn't do any resistance. It was more, again, running and cardiovascular. And this year, and then also non-physical is I got my cups and I have my business and it's going really good. And this has also been a blessing to me because it's been like a therapy for me to be able to go and create and to put out beautiful things out in the universe. And I'm very grateful for God for giving me this imagination and this gift of being creative. And so, this year I am going to dedicate myself and be more creative and creating beautiful things for people and making more cups.
Well, we thank you, Gabby, for sharing your passion and your inspiration to all of us. You've inspired so many of us that know you and are around you. And we're really excited to see what God has for you in this 2017 with your business, your passion, and the creativity that He puts in you. So thank you for sharing and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.